Right, guys, today we're going to look at changing between percentages and decimals. Okay, for the first example, we're going to look at changing a decimal to a percentage. So the thing you need to remember is to change a decimal to a percentage, we need to multiply by 100. It's that simple. So, looking at the examples, we've got change the following to a percentage. So, what we need to do to 0.15 is multiply it by 100. So, 0.15 times by 100. Well, if I were to times it by 10, I'd move the decimal point one place. And then if I was to times it by another 10, I'd move the decimal point two places. And that would be timesing by 100. So what I need to do is increase it by a factor of 100. So I need to move it 2 decimal points. Okay, move that decimal point 2 places to the right. So it's equal to it's equal to 0.15 times 100 is equal to 15. So 0.15 is the same as 15%. Okay, we need to do the same for the second one. So we're changing 0.8 to a percentage, so we need to do 0.8 times by 100. So if I move the decimal point one place, that would be timesing by 10. That would get me 8, because then it would be 0.8 decimal place. But then I need to move the decimal point a second time. But that means I'll need to put a 0 in there. So we actually get times it by 10 I get 8, times it by 10 again I get 80. Okay, so 0.8 can be written as 80%. 0.615, that's a little bit different, but the same process applies. So we need to times it by 100 to get our percentage. So move the decimal point once, move the decimal point again, then I get 61.5. And so my percentage is 61.5%. Okay. It's not much different when we are changing a percentage back to a decimal. Okay, instead of timesing by 100, we divide by 100. So to change a percentage to a decimal, we divide by 100. So let's change the following to a decimal. Let's start with 27%. Okay, so 27 divided by 100. This time I move the decimal point in the opposite direction. So the decimal point is just after the 7, so I move it once, and then I move it a second time, so the decimal point will be in front of the 2. So we'll have decimal point 27. Don't forget to put 0 in front of that. So 27% equals 0.27. Okay, second question. 1%. I want to change that to a decimal. So I've got 1 divided by 100 equals. So I'm going to move the decimal point. The decimal point at the moment, you can't see it, but there is one there. It's just after the 1. Because 1.0 would be equal to 1. So if I move it once, I get to 0.1. And then if I move it again, so I'll move it once to there, and then I'll move it again. That means I need to put a 0, and then I have the point in front of the 0. So it's 0.01. So 0.01 is equivalent to 1%. Right, third question. Let's say 135%. I want to know what that is as a decimal. So we do 135 and we divide it by 100. Right, imagine where the decimal point is right now. It's after the 5. So I need to move it back 2 places, once, twice. So the decimal point now is in between the 1 and the 3, 1.35. So 135% can be written as 1.35. Okay, have a go at some questions like this. I've popped them on Show My Homework for you. First question is changing decimals to a percentage. Second question, changing percentages to a decimal. Use what we did. So times by 100 if you're changing to a percentage, divide by 100 if you're changing to a decimal. Okay, have a great day, guys, and I'll speak to you soon.